Kaufman is Alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at Amazing Fantasy #1 by Marvel Comics. This came out in September of 2021. It's written and drawn by Kaare Andrews. This is kind of an homage to the Frank Frazetta science fiction artwork of the 70s. You definitely see that heavy influence in Kaare Andrews' style here. I guess Marvel needs to maintain the copyrights to Amazing Fantasy every few years, so they got to put out an Amazing Fantasy comic book. Obviously, Amazing Fantasy was the original series where Spider-Man first showed up in issue number 15, way back in the early 60s. So this comic doesn't really have any connection to that in a sense, although this does feature Spider-Man. We've also got Captain America and Black Widow featured in this series. Again, this is Marvel kind of giving Kaare Andrews free rein to kind of do whatever he wants. And the result here is very interesting to say the least. We start off in World War II, back in 1943, with a Captain America story. And there's kind of three different stories here, as you would guess, with each of the main characters. They don't really intersect in this first issue at all, although as we get through this miniseries, we see that this all does kind of coalesce into a big storyline, so it's a pretty cool thing. And each story here has a different style of artwork too, a different coloring, just a different panel layouts, different inking styles. It's very, very, very cool stuff. This series did originally come out as single issues, and I picked up every issue. I'm going to be putting out videos of each of these issues in the next few days and weeks to come here. But then it all was collected in kind of an oversized trade paperback that came out after all the single issues were released. So I like how the first story here, specifically the Captain America one, has like these faded coloring on it. Makes it look like an old paper that it's printed on, even though this is all on like nice glossy paper. And the first story is got that kind of a dotted coloring as well from like the 60s. It's got that kind of style over the top of all of it here. But then when we get to the second part of the story here, as Captain America fails in his mission to save everybody and actually finds himself in this afterworld here, which is the story. Each of these stories kind of fall into that, where these characters are going through things that happened to them in the original stories, and then they find themselves being killed here and into the afterlife. As we see Spider-Man here, he's battling Green Goblin, gets hit with the pumpkin bomb and finds himself about to be burned alive in this stew by all of these weird creatures. So just like Captain America and Black Widow before him, we got Spider-Man trying to figure out where he is, what's going on here. He actually gets saved by this bald eagle creature, who then just whacks him in the face. We see Captain America here. He's in this forest. Originally, he gets stuck in this like beach setting, and this giant winged lion comes down, and he thinks it's a Nazi experiment. He doesn't know where he is at first, and I really love this like Captain America with like the beard and long hair, and he's got his shield here. And this giant serpent comes and takes the lion away, so Captain America throws the shield up at him to try and stop him there. And later he goes and tries to collect his shield. We see the Black Widow story here. This feels like a Bill Sienkiewicz style that they're going for here. Again, I just love how each story here has got a very obvious, different comic book style to it. So, harkening back to the original styles of each of these characters. So Captain America goes and he's looking for his shield. And he comes upon this woman who's being attacked by all of these gremlins. So Captain America is able to stop them and finds his shield with this young boy who's the son of this woman here. So he decides he's going to protect them. He sees this growling creature in the bushes here, but he's told that he's just a friend of theirs. So, and it's the winged lion from the beginning of the story. So they all take off on the winged lion here. Then we see Natasha waking up. Love these droopy eyeballs that she's got. And she finds herself on the back of a horse, which is where she was left in her story here. If we go back here and see where she got left, she was trying to escape from her Black Widow training facility here, but she gets double crossed and killed, and they take her body and put her on the back of a horse here. So then again, she finds herself, after all these ads, being carried by this guy on the back of a horse here. And Kaare Andrews draws really great figures here, male and female, both. We get a great Spider-Man butt here, so there's no discrimination between male and female butts. We get a very phallic looking like castle that he's taking her to. And Spider-Man, he's been saved by this woman here who they're both kind of smitten with each other. And Spider-Man finds out that she was actually sent by Uncle Ben, Peter's Uncle Ben, who's here, and he explains to Peter that they're all dead. So they're all in the afterlife. But Ben says everything's gonna be okay. Now that you're here, we can begin, he says. So pretty cool setup to this series, as we're gonna see all these heroes kind of navigate the afterlife. So I love the Frank Frazetta homage cover here by Kaare Andrews. So I'll be going through issues 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here coming up, so stay tuned for that. I do post daily comic book reviews, so if you like videos like this, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.